Welcome to season 2 of the Bigger Than You podcast, your go-to weekly podcast that blends energetics and mindset to help you do whatever it takes to bring your vision to life, whilst having fun on the way. I'm Jenna Holloway, your host and multi-award-winning intuitive hypnotherapist and mindset coach. My purpose is to help mission-led business owners and visionaries who want to inspire change by leading the way in a space that otherwise may feel unnerving and too difficult. This is Bigger Than You. Hello, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm really, really excited to share this episode with you. It's called 5 Ways to Make More Sales in Your Business, but at the crux of every single thing that I'm going to share with you today, it's about authenticity because, well, I will explain once we get into it, but authenticity is so key. And so, let's get straight into it. I would recommend, if you can, use pen and paper or take notes as you're listening to this episode. I feel that there's going to be a lot of strategy type tips that you can implement. And I feel like it's going to be one of those things that you might want to write down and come back to. So let's get started then. Number 1, in order to make more sales in your business, it is genuinely about being more authentically you, because people don't buy a service or a product. Okay, they just don't. Unless you're like talking about a hammer, you go out and buy a hammer. But if you're listening to this podcast, then you have a service that you are providing. You're a business owner, and people are not buying from you because of the service or the product. Let's take, for example, let's say that you are a coach and you coach people on nutrition, for example. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of other people out there that do what you do. So they're not going to buy from you because of the service that you offer. They're going to buy from you for you. People buy from people. It's energy. It's the connection. We do everything, most things, right? 95% of what we do is done with a subconscious mind, okay? So your subconscious brain is making decisions for you all of the time. And this is how we live our lives on autopilot. We're just making those subconscious decisions time after time after time. So some of the tips that I share with you are based off the back of that, the fact that your subconscious mind is driving your behavior. And so I need you to understand that in order to make more sales in your business, it's about being more authentic, okay? Because your clients are going to choose you for you. So what makes you different? Chances are the things that you have limiting beliefs about are the things that make you unique and will literally make you like catnip to your ideal clients. And you worry about being your authentic self because you think people might be like irritated by you or might be too much or whatever. But actually, no, your vibe attracts your tribe. That means that when you are authentically you, there's a certain energy that just cannot be recreated if you're just not being your true authentic self. So this is why I say the relationship that you have with yourself is the number one thing, not even in your business, in life. You're going to get the best out of yourself and the best happening in your life when you allow yourself to be your true authentic self, when you accept and love yourself exactly as you are. You're going to be able to make the choices and make the decisions that are in alignment with you and for no other reason at all. So it always starts with you and the work that you do on yourself. And you will never, ever regret investing in your own personal development. Your business will thrive. But I'll get more to that later. So let's look then. What makes you different? What things are you stopping yourself from showing online? Because that honestly is going to be something that connects you to your ideal clients. So stories, for example, if you use Instagram, but you're not using the stories feature, then you're missing a trick, because in order for people to buy from you, they need to go along the buyer journey and they need to know, like, and trust you. Because I said we make decisions with our subconscious mind. So we need to make this subconscious decision that we like. Let's say, for example, you're going to buy from somebody else. Subconsciously, in order to make that purchase, if it's not also obviously something that's like less than a fiver or whatever, but if it's a decent sized purchase, you're going to need to have to like that person. You're going to need to trust them, i.e., recognize and decide that they know what they're talking about. and you're going to need to know them. So if you look at your own Instagram, for example, you're not showing your personality there, or you're not even showing your face there, then you're massively holding yourself back. Okay. People need to know, like, and trust you. And that know factor can be like, you can get people to know you so well by just using stories on a daily basis. Okay. And I'll share some tips about this in a second, but don't overthink it. Just let people in. When you're showing up on stories, don't think that you're sharing something with your entire audience. Just talk and be like you're talking to one person, and have that person in mind, like they are your friend. Okay. This is the mindset to have around it. When you're doing your stories, you are speaking to a friend who already knows you, who already likes you, and knows that you have something valuable to share with them. So they want to listen to you. Okay. So imagine that you're talking to one person and they want to hear from you. So that gives you the confidence to share whatever's on your mind without worrying about any stories like going on in your mind. That gives you the permission, like you can give yourself permission to just show up and share whatever is on your heart, because knowing that your audience want to hear from you. You are the expert and they want to learn from you. Keep that in your mind as you're speaking. And remember that you're speaking to one person, not a whole audience. That will make it come across in your communication like you are speaking to a friend. And I've had it so many times when I've been like on a discovery call with somebody and they've said some kind of comment like, oh, they feel like they know me. Or it's just, I've even had somebody say that it's like meeting a celebrity or something, because it just sounds ridiculous, but I know what they mean. It's because I'm just myself on stories and I'm there all the time giving an insight into my life. So they feel like they know me, even if they've never actually spoken to me on a one-to-one until a discovery call, for example. So yeah, don't overthink it. Just let people in. Think about it like you're speaking to a friend, and just be yourself. Allow people to get to know you. But, and with a big but here, you need to recognize that when people are watching stories, they have a very, very short attention span. So we can just scroll, 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 scroll. So you need to use a little bit of strategy to make people want to stop and watch your stories. So do not, do not say the stock phrases that everybody else says, like, hi guys, just popping on. Oh, don't mind my hair. Oh, I forgot to take my makeup off. Like all of this waffle before you get to the point, because they will have scrolled before you even get to it. So, little tip for you, this is what I do. I always film my stories outside of Instagram. I just film a video and I say what I want to say. And then I quickly watch that video back with the eyes of, do I capture attention straight away? Do I get straight into it? And if not, I'll edit off the first 3 or 4 seconds, because it's important that you get straight into it. Otherwise, you're just going to scroll. Okay. And another thing that you can do to get to stop the scroll is to use a little text hook, so that you kind of give a bit of this is called opening the loop. You give somebody a reason to watch and they can quickly read that without having to consume anything that's going to take seconds. It's like you have to recognize that Instagram behavior is very, very low. Like people just scroll like that. So you have to use a bit of strategy to make sure people watch you, give them a reason to watch. So yeah, use a text hook, use captions as well, because a lot of people don't watch with sound. Get to the point, don't waffle, but also be yourself. Okay, let people in. And also, massively important here is to sell on stories. Talk about your offers regularly all the time, okay? Because the online world, there's just so much going on all of the time. So don't assume because you've talked about your offer once last week that people know what you said or what you offer. Use your stories all the time to sell. And it doesn't have to be in a direct buy from me way. It can be in a showing some social proof or talking about what happened in your session and one of your client sessions and the transformation, or if you've got a masterclass, sharing your masterclass. There's so many different ways that ultimately is selling, getting people to take action, to get to know you more, to get to know more about your work. Do this regularly, okay? Use your stories. Stories feature on Instagram is just so, so important and is so underused by people if they have limiting beliefs about it. So hopefully that shared a lot there to reframe some of those things and to just get you using it more, okay? Next tip, tip 2. get the basics right. Okay. So I'm talking now about somebody who, let's say you put out content and somebody sees your content on the explore page and they click, they see it and they decide, like it was a good post, they decide to look at your profile. You literally have 2.5 seconds to make them decide to follow you or not. And that's the same with anything when somebody's landing, whether it's your landing page, your website, whatever. 2.5 seconds, that is it. Your subconscious mind or the subconscious mind of your audience are making decisions for them. They're not consciously deciding, should I follow? No, it's subconscious. And the subconscious is saying, is it worth me following this person? And if they can't make that decision within 2.5 seconds, they won't, because a confused mind doesn't take action. Okay. So you put in all of this effort into creating your content, but you're not growing your audience because people are coming onto your profile and they're confused about what it is you do. So they don't take action. Okay. Even if you're the perfect person for them, if they don't know it, they can't work that out within 2.5 seconds, then they're not going to follow you. Okay. So you need to get the basics right. Have your highlights sorted, clear out any stuff that doesn't align with your business now or where you want your business to go. Okay. Your bio, is it clear on who you help? Is it clear on the fact that you are an expert? You know what you're talking about. Is there something in there that makes you credible? Or are you just like saying that what you like or whatever? It's got to be super, super clear. Okay. And then the other thing I was going to say about this is vet your followers. Okay. Do not think of your follower count as a vanity metric. It's important that the people who are following you are the right people. So if, for example, you have somebody who's gone to follow you that is clearly not an ideal client, i.e., what I tend to do is if, for example, it looks like there's so many of these out there, by the way, like a guy type profile, what I tend to do, because I think most of my content is geared at women generally. I don't mind if men follow me, it's totally fine. Like I work with men, but they have to be the right type of client. So there's a lot of men out there that will follow women just because, well, I don't know, I'm not even spoken to them, but I can tell when somebody is not an ideal client. And if I then go on the people that they're following and it is just a bunch of women that are all that, are I'm just like digging myself a little hole here, but I'm sure you know what I mean. Like if you look on the people that they're following, it's just women, not really a specific interest area. I'm just like, no, thank you. And I will go and remove it. Okay, because I only want people following me that are interested in me and my content and what I do. And so if I've got even just 1% of people following me that just don't give a shit, like, or are just like following me to try and get more followers or whatever, then that's going to affect my engagement rate. Because when you put a post out there, Instagram, the algorithm will push it out to a small percentage of your audience. And if it gets engagement, then it will push it out further. So if I've got a bunch of people like bots, for example, if I've got a bunch of bots following me that I have not removed, then my stuff is going to land on their page and it's not going to go anywhere. It's better to have a smaller, engaged audience than care about your follower count for the sake of it being a bigger number. No, you need to have an abundance mindset here and not a lack mindset. Okay. It's about quality over quantity. And do not really this isn't even part of my plan for this episode, but do not tell yourself a story that you're not going to hit certain income goals or you're not going to achieve a certain thing until you have a certain specific sized audience. You do not need a big audience to do really, really well in your business. You just need to get clear on who you help. You need to get clear on your content. You need to sort your mindset out so that you're not holding yourself back. And you just need to go for it. Authentically go for it. Okay. I have done so well in my business, like multiple 5-figure months with an audience of less than 900. It's growing faster and faster now. But when my business really started to take off, I just had a few hundred people following me. And so do not hold yourself back by telling yourself a story that you have to, have a huge audience. Totally not right. Not true. Next tip number 3, get your messaging right. Okay. You need to know your ideal client inside and out. You need to niche down so that you are talking to one specific person and you need to know them inside out. What do they want? What are their pain points? What are they struggling with right now? And you need to use their language. So you need to get on market research calls. You need to speak to your ideal client. You need to really, really know this inside out, because Instagram and the online world is a very, very noisy place. Your messaging needs to be so good that it feels like you're inside the mind of your ideal client. So using the exact language that they are using and not using coach speak. Okay. So get specific in your content. Like if you can show them examples of the exact things that they're doing, or show them examples of what they would like, so that they're reading and they're like, wow, this is me. Oh my God, this person, how do they know me so well? They're in my head. When you're reading content and you feel like somebody knows you so well, that automatically creates trust for them subconsciously. They trust that you're able to give them the transformation because they know you so well. Okay. And the only way you can do that is to really, really do plenty of market research. All right. Don't skip that. It's super, super important. And then when you're writing your content, write it how you speak. Okay. Read it out loud and don't filter yourself. This is going into my next tip now. Stop filtering yourself. Okay. And content creation can be so, so easy when you let it. Like it's crazy when you just do things the way that I teach, i.e., focus on yourself, focus on raising your vibration, focus on enjoying yourself first and following your energy. Like you don't ever need to struggle with content. I have got content ideas coming out of my ears at the moment. Hence, I did 2 Geno unedited episodes last week, 2 days in a row, or 2 in 3 days or whatever. Like I've got so many ideas, and I've opened a floodgate recently because I've hired an extra team member in the business to support me with taking my ideas and making them into like Instagrammable content. So I do have support in my business in a way that I didn't used to. And for me, support is so, so useful. I don't want to go off too much on a tangent. Maybe this is an episode for another day, but when you feel fully supported, or this is my experience anyway, when I feel so fully supported, it's an absolute game changer. And I recognize that recently. And yeah, I'm fully supported now in terms of my content creation. I write my own content, but I don't do the things that don't light me up in my business. And for me, making something Instagram worthy, i.e., for the grid, that doesn't light my soul on fire. I've done it before and it was great, but we evolve, right? What it means to be in alignment is constantly changing because we are constantly changing as human beings. So, in the beginning of my business, absolutely, I was doing all of this myself and I was into it. But things change. And now what is in alignment for me is have support with that. So I've trusted that, and I'm spending a lot of money on support in my business. And that's fine because I trust my decisions. I trust my process. I trust that there will be a return on investment in it. And I absolutely have no doubt in that whatsoever. But I make fearless, bold decisions. And that's why I've had the success that I've created, because I just go there. Anyways, yeah. So you write your content. So yeah, content creation can be fun. Okay. So really, really just focus on yourself. Do what feels good. Follow your energy. Go out for a walk. Find an exercise class that doesn't feel like exercise, like me, my dance class. Like I really, really love my dance class. I rave about it. And like I come home and I've just got ideas, so many ideas. And so it gets to be easy when you put yourself first and you raise your vibration. That gateway for inspiration and content can just open. And what you then do is you just type. You type, you read it out loud, and then you hit publish. Okay. Don't worry about being too much or too edgy or too not mincing your words. I don't know what the opposite of that is, but yeah, don't worry about being too in somebody's face. Be you. Okay. If you would say that to your friend, then say it in your social media, because your vibe attracts your tribe. And in actual fact, it's good to repel people, because those people would never buy from you anyway. And if they were, then they would end up being a misaligned client and wouldn't light your soul on fire as a client. You want the people that love you, because you will love working with them. Like that's what it's about. Okay. So you don't want to fear repelling people. You just be you, and your vibe, who you are, will attract in the people who just like search out your content and binge watch or binge listen to your content and then get in touch. Next tip. Where are we? I think we might be on tip 5 now. I've lost count, but analyze your own Instagram behavior. I'm talking about Instagram, but essentially, this is the same for whatever it is that is your go to social platforms. And while we're on that, by the way, you need to think, where are my ideal clients hanging out? But you also need to trust yourself to go where feels good, because I know probably that my ideal client who is ready to invest more might be on LinkedIn, but LinkedIn doesn't really light my soul on fire. So I'm not going to do something that is misaligned. I love Instagram. And so that's where I've hung out. And that is where it feels good for me. And so that's what I do. So you got to trust yourself in terms of your social media platforms. But also, yeah, it is good to really think about, where is your ideal client hanging out too. Okay. Anyways, yeah, I'm going to analyze your own Instagram behavior. Whose content stands out for you? Just observe yourself. Who do you find yourself watching stories like all the time? Or who do you find out? Who do you search out and look for, like look up? Chances are that you're going to know, like, and trust them, right? And you're going to know, like, and trust them because they're being authentic. You feel like you know them. They are credible, i.e., they know what they're talking about, and you feel safe, like you would feel safe to invest in them because they know their shit and they're confident in it. Like, they've probably done their inner work too, so that they are showing up in a way that you can tell that they're just so safe and secure in themselves. So you know, you like and you trust them. That's why you're finding their content. That's why you're searching them out. That's why you're watching them. So then what I want you to do is to identify the energy that's at play there. I bet you they are being unapologetically who they are and authentic. So there will be a level of authenticity there that you don't see in other content that you're scrolling past. What's capturing your attention? Chances are they're using good copy strategy, i.e., hooks to capture your attention. Chances are they're being really specific in the things that they're saying. Chances are that they are not mincing their words and like trying to blend in. They're not being vanilla in their content. They're just saying it how it is. Okay. And this exercise isn't for you to emulate that, it's to just be aware of what your behavior is like as an Instagram user. And therefore, make sure that your content is doing the same thing too, i.e., being authentic, being unapologetically you. And if you're watching stories, but you scroll past most people except one or just a few people on Instagram, why do you watch them and not anybody else? Why do you watch them regardless of what it is they've got to share? It doesn't matter. You watch every single story. And I have a lot of people watching every single story of mine all of the time. Man, I don't know why that is. They don't share that with me, but I am unapologetically me and I'm just me. And that, I think that is magnetic. People tell me that I'm magnetic, and it's just about being authentic. You can get to that place too, but you need to do work on yourselves. That takes me to my final point, and that is, if you want to collapse your timeline, i.e., if you want to get to where your business goes faster, you need to take mindset work seriously. You need to invest in supporting yourself in this area, because strategies will only get you so far. You need aligned strategy for you. You need to be able to trust in yourself. You need to be able to work through those limiting beliefs so that they're not holding you back. And if you want to find out more about what this looks like in terms of actually in your business, please watch the masterclass in the show notes. Go to www.jennaholloway.com/step up. That masterclass will show you exactly what you need to do to collapse your timeline in your business and start to create this version of success that you see in your mind sooner rather than later. And mindset work is not affirmations and visions boards, guys. That's like trying to use an egg cup to bail water out of a sinking ship. Like, no, you can't just put an affirmations track on and expect yourself to, break through your limiting beliefs. It just doesn't work like that. If you've got limiting beliefs in there that need to be worked through, then subconscious reprogramming is going to be the thing that gives you the biggest bang for your buck in your business. And if you don't know what your limiting beliefs are, but you feel like you're holding yourself back, then come and DM me on Instagram. I can share with you, I can look at your profile. Most of the time I can look at somebody's profile and work out what their limiting beliefs are without even having a conversation with them. So if you're up for that, come and DM me, subconscious Instagram assessment, and I will share that with you. But yeah, final thought from me then is to just stop having this sprint attitude in your business. You're so desperate to create the version of success in your mind that you want to, that you're like, you've got this lack mindset going on. I'm not saying you have, but this is an issue that I see so often with business owners, is that they just cannot detach. They don't trust themselves to believe that their success is inevitable. They have all sorts of limiting beliefs going on that are just creating so much time wasting and like shiny object syndrome and just procrastination, lack of clarity, like not showing up without this safe energy. So people don't feel safe to buy. There's just all the audience are just sitting on the fence, even though you know that you've got exactly what people need. They're all sitting in the fence and not taking action. What you need to do is to be able to detach and zoom out a little bit, zoom out of your business and just realize that you're here doing your soul's purpose. Okay. So it's not like achieve everything you need to achieve in 6 months or else. No, zoom out. You're in this for the long game. Okay. So stop thinking about if I do this, will this happen? If I do this, will this happen? No, it's about the compound of your actions. Okay. So don't think if I send an email with a certain call to action, am I going to get a sale? You're so attached with that energy and it doesn't work. Your energetics need to be on point, and so does your subconscious programming if you want to create fast success with ease in your business. Please watch the masterclass if you want to learn more about that. But basically, you want to zoom out and you want to think that you want to believe and you want to know in your body that your success is inevitable. And so you just do the things that feel good in your business. You just make the moves in your business that feel good, trusting yourself, knowing that not one single thing is going to make a difference, but it's that combined element of consistent, grounded, worthy, unapologetic action that will get you there. So let's just recap all of those tips then. Number one was get the basics right. Okay. There's no point you spending so much effort creating content if you are not keeping people when they come onto your page for the first time. Make it clear what you do, how you help people, and create good content. Essentially, get your messaging right and create good content. Be yourself, be authentically you. Okay. Stop trying to be anybody else and just know that you are you and you are incredible. So work on that relationship with yourself, and that will have such a benefit, such a positive impact in your business and your energy. You will suddenly become magnetic to your people. Okay. Stop filtering yourself. Your content creation should be fun. So, first of all, raise your vibe, get your ideas, write the post, read it out loud, hit publish. Okay. Don't worry about repelling people. Your vibe attracts a tribe. Next one, know your ideal client inside and out. Use their language. You want to get it so that your content is, it's like they're reading it and they're like, whoa, how is she in my mind? How does she know how I feel? And that will subconsciously help them to just trust you because you know them so well that they know that you can help them. Okay. Next one, analyze your own Instagram behavior or analyze your own online behavior. What is it that makes you watch one Instagram person over and over and over again and just scroll through everybody else? What is it about their energy? Okay. And what is it about their content that makes you come back for more? Do not emulate it. Just identify the energy that's at play there and look to implement that in your own content and business. It's about being you, but what I mean by identifying the energy and implementing it, like I don't want to give you all the answers here, but it's so obvious. It's always going to be that that person is unapologetically themselves and authentic. Okay. So there's only one of you, but you want to get to the place where you are so happy and confident and accepting of who you are that it feels so good to just be you. Like this is the case with me. I'm so happy to just be me that I just don't waste any energy. There's no resistance going on behind the scenes of like, oh, I can't put that out or, anything like that. I'm just me. And that is what makes it's so much easier as a content creator, because if you love the work that you do with your clients, but you really are struggling with marketing, you've got to change that relationship with marketing. You've got to learn to love it. You've got to work on yourself first so you can get to that place where it feels easy. Raise your vibe, get the idea, write the post, get it out there. Okay. So yeah, hopefully all of those tips have really, really helped you, but also zoom out. It's not about the next thing that I do is going to make the difference. No, chill out, detach from the outcome of each of your activities, knowing that your success is inevitable when you work on yourself and you make the right moves. Okay. You're not like running around in circles, attracting the same shit after shit. You do your work yourself, like you do your work on yourself and you get your strategy right, but it's got to be aligned strategy, all the things. Basically, there's so much. I feel like I can make another episode. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll stop this and do another episode. But yeah, thank you for listening. I hope it's been helpful. If you just want to get the best out of this podcast, make sure you take notes and get an action plan to implement. But if you want to collapse your timeline and you want to work on your mindset and specifically your subconscious programming, because it's your limiting beliefs that's going to give you the biggest bang for your buck. If you want to do some subconscious reprogramming and get rid of stuff in you and your energy that you know is holding you back, you don't even need to know how it's holding you back. But if you want to do that, then come and DM me on Instagram or go straight to the link in my bio. You can apply to work with me and we will have a discovery call. I always have discovery calls with my clients. I'm not one of those people who poo-poos it. Anyway, I'm going on. That is a story for another day. Thank you so much for joining me. Please share this with a friend or share it on stories if you have found it helpful. I appreciate it so much. Or third option, which would be amazing, if you are an Apple listener, please leave me an Apple review. I would appreciate that so much. Thank you. See you next week. Bye. Thank you for listening to the Bigger Than You podcast. If you found it valuable, please forward it to others who you think might benefit from listening, and be sure to subscribe to get the new episodes when they release. And if you're listening on iTunes, please leave a rating or a review, as it really helps the show to grow. You can find me on LinkedIn, Jenna Holloway, or on TikTok and Instagram, and my handle is @IamJennaHolloway. And you can find links to whatever we cover in the show notes. Thank you for listening, and see you next time.